my name is Imani. I'm a writer and astrologer, and we're on day 26 of the December synastry challenge on my channel. I started this December challenge so that I could kick off my channel and get some videos out there. And now that I've done this challenge, I've learned so much. So I'm so excited to move from the December synastry challenge into the January synastry series. But either way, we're talking about synastry, okay? And today we're talking about Venus in the 12th house. Now, the Venus in 12th house synastry overlay, it has some similarities and it has some differences between it and the moon in the 12th house, and also it and Mars in the 12th house. With Venus in the 12th house, when you two meet, it doesn't initially seem like anything special. It seems just like, two strangers introduced to each other and are getting to know each other. As you're hanging out, you're realizing, okay, actually, this person has a super groovy, super cool personality that I can see myself vibing with beyond just as an acquaintance. And this is from the Venus person's end and the house person's end. But yeah, so you see this person as more than an acquaintance, best friend potential. You're hanging out more, and then suddenly the romantic feelings start to develop. And even if you originally just intended for this person to be your friend, even if this person is someone that you don't generally find an attraction to, there is some kind of like romanticized feelings that still come up regardless. But if it is someone that is generally someone you find attraction to, and those romantic feelings start to come about, both the Venus person and the house person start to become really intentional with the time that they spend together, what they learn about each other, because they want to continue to get to know you. They want to continue to see if this is something that could be something. And you really get to a point where you're just like, actually, I really don't even want to imagine what my life would be like without this person in it. I don't want to go back to the way my life was before I met this person. Usually, almost as soon as you get to this deciding point and like your last wall drops, boom, you guys get in a fight. And usually it's some kind of betrayal. Like the Venus person especially feels betrayed by some action that the house person has done, has participated in, and the Venus person immediately cuts off and is like, I'm done. This is an overlay that I've had with really most people in my life, so it's the one that I know the most, and I swear with like 10 plus people, the same scenario has happened. Different situation, of course, different details, but the same underlying plot line where it's like we meet, we're cool, and then unexpectedly there's this huge fight that like changes the course of the relationship forever. Then this is where it gets interesting. When you guys meet for the second time, and there's gonna be a second time, okay? Note, we already know, if you've watched the other videos about the 12th house, I talk about the 12th house representing past lives. When Venus is in the 12th house and there's this overlay, there's an emphasis on this sort of reincarnation aspect. With the 12th house, it's never a one and done. So you guys meet for a second time, either you literally run into each other somewhere or the house person reaches out. Now this is dependent on how the situation ended, right? If the house person has more of a clue that there is a fight going on, then most likely they will reach out. And as the Venus person, I would say wait for them to reach out. I'll finish that thought later. But if the house person has no idea that a fight is going on, then they're less likely to reach out. When you guys have that second meeting, however it comes about, that's when you guys start to get your first indication that there is a special connection between you two. So like with the moon in the 12th house, you immediately know there's something special between you two, but you don't know what it is. With Mars in the 12th house, same thing. You immediately know there's something special between you two, and Mars takes an active role in finding out what it is. With the moon, they don't take an active role just yet. It stays there for a long time before it's acted upon. With Venus, there's no idea that this is special until it ends and starts again. That's when it's like, okay, this is a fated union. And then begins this oscillation cycle. So a lot of times with this overlay, this connection of like finding a perfect partner in each other and then having a huge breakup, that cycle like continues and can repeat for a number of times until the lesson that's supposed to be learned is learned. And really this is for most situations in life. But with the Venus in the 12th house, it's very, very obvious that you guys are repeating the same exact pattern and that you're not really getting what needs to be accomplished here. Sometimes with this overlay, you only need that one breakup to realize what it is. And usually what's needed here is for the house person to say, I have real feelings for you and I'm sorry that you felt betrayed or shocked by whatever action happened, but I want a relationship with you and I'm feeling the same things that you are feeling. The Venus person needs to hear this confession because they have went all in on you and then that whole thing happened. And so because of that betrayal, they feel like there's this long journey of trust back to where it used to be. And the Venus person isn't usually blindsided by this, so that's why they take even more precautionary methods than usual when it comes to bringing this person back into their life after the first initial fight. Now, once you guys are hanging out for that second or third or fourth time, that's when you can start to really reflect on the first time you guys met. And the Venus person especially will realize, like, damn, I didn't see it then, but now that we are where we are and I'm a little bit more self-aware and I can look back at that moment and analyze it from like a third person point of view, I can see that the house person like really put a spell on me. Because in the beginning, the Venus person is acting out of sorts. They do things that they don't usually do, but they don't recognize it. And with Venus in the 12th house overlay, this is usually a secret relationship. Not a lot of friends or family know, not necessarily because there's shame or something to be ashamed about in this relationship. Sometimes it is an affair, but it's not always. It's not always that you're hiding it for a bad or naughty reason. It's just sometimes something that you guys want to keep private. Like, it's like the Christmas gift you hide and just love on because you just appreciate where it's come from and its value so much. So you just want to hide it away from the world, keep it to yourself. But point is, there isn't really a lot of feedback that people from the outside can give you because they don't even know that you're talking to this person. But honestly, whatever happens in that first fight, I'm not saying it was completely the house person's fault, even though I am suggesting to wait for the house person to reach out. And I'm not biased because I've been the Venus person many times in this overlay and I've been the house person many times in this overlay. Definitely this can be a long-term connection, but it really depends, right? So the Venus person, truly, they kind of do overreact to the situation. Lots of the times the Venus person could have communicated the issue in a better way to where the fight didn't even have to happen. In fact, the Venus person should have communicated at all because more than likely the Venus person didn't say anything because they feel like the house person should just know not to act like that. They don't want anyone in their life that's going to be acting a fool or making a fool out of them. They thought they knew everything about this person's character and then they just like came out with this and it's like, ugh. So the Venus person is in their feelings with this and they, instead of taking the average punishment that you would do for the crime, they take it to like the capital, like maximum punishment. So the Venus person does have some admitting to do here. But the reason I say the house person should be the one to reach out initially if they know a little bit about, what is going on, if it's fair, is because usually this fight happens because the house person is in this limbo where they know that the Venus person has feelings for them. They know that the Venus person thinks they have feelings for them. They know they have feelings for the Venus person, but they are playing it super cool. They're not really admitting, they're not really saying, I like you. They're just letting the assumptions pile on and not denying them. That's not the same as communicating. So the house person has their own communication issues too, right? And in this overlay, I really do feel like it's more on the house person to open up that communication line because the Venus is in their house, their domain. They have to take the lead. Once the house person opens up this line of communication, then it's very important for the Venus person to follow up and say, this is why I overreacted. This is everything about what I was thinking. Like the Venus person really has to let the house person into their mind as well. For this overlay to work, It's total transparency or nothing. And a lot of the reason why it continues in this cycle of like getting together, breaking up, getting together, breaking up, getting together, breaking up, is because you guys don't reach that point of total transparency. And the longer you're in the cycle, the harder it is to break out of. Not only that, but the more you're gonna have to reveal, the more you're gonna have to dredge up, and the longer it takes to heal after that. Sometimes when the house person comes back the second time to open that line of communication, the Venus person can be so embarrassed that they acted over the top that they now try to take the role of playing it cool, and then it just goes between this like playing it cool, who's playing it cooler. Like, to some degree, you guys will at least always have two max secrets from each other, but it's never going to work if the secret that you're holding has to be about the relationship or something about the details of the fights that happen in your guys' breakup moments. The secrets that are like allowed, I guess, or that won't compromise the bond of the relationship is if it has something to do with you and someone outside of the relationship, which I would say it's always better to have complete honesty in this overlay. But if it's you and someone else, that's your business. I'm an 8th house stellium, so I'm always gonna advocate for like, if you feel like you want to keep something private, that's your business, and other people should mind theirs. But the key thing with this overlay is building trust. So even things that don't matter, just by sharing that, you solidify that bond a lot more. Sometimes when the house person doesn't even know really what's going on, they just know the Venus person's upset for some reason, they'll come back and be like, I don't know what happened between us exactly. I just know that like something went sour and we fell off. But to be honest, I want to reconcile this and I love you. And that's what the Venus person really just wants to hear at the end of the day. Let me know if you guys have questions about this one, and check back in tomorrow to see what Venus overlay we touch on next. Bye!